nail polishing up controls in my editor. I'm getting ready to wrap this thing up as far as having the editor module and its controls looked over, fine-tuned, case tested and adjusted, and determined to be an efficient, functional, logical, processed working order. I added my toggle panels for this is a static panel hotkeys. Those are the hotkeys I utilize so far. I got them listed there. The editor shouldn't have too many more hotkeys added to it, so that panel should be sufficient as far as scaling goes, size. I can always, I make all these graphics by hand, so I could easily adapt. If I ever needed more space, I could adapt it to the side, and I could move everything over and have another row of text, or I could adapt it down, which I probably would never do, because then it would cut into screen space. But that's a static panel that you can have open or closed until you memorize the 10 hotkeys, which won't take long if you spend any significant amount of time editing a map. You'll pick those up pretty quickly, and they're useful keys. I put a note at the top that when you're in this panel, location data, hotkeys disable in panel mode, location data. The panel is right here, location data. Location data. So it's pretty easy to put two and two together and figure out what that is in reference to. To save space, I abbreviated namespaces. TER is terrain. Let me pick these things up, and they'll be further referenced in instruction manuals that come with the game. But for the static display, you need to conserve space to make it visually appropriate and also logically functional. So that's what that is. Number pads, it's pretty simple. 7 and 9 is the left and right for countries. 1 and 3 is left and right for tactical zones, and 4 and 6 is left and right for geozones, for terrain cycling when you're in terrain painting mode. Then you can cycle the ID that is selected with Control plus, comma, or Control plus period. And then to cycle the variant within the ID, you just press, without holding Control, you press comma or period, and it'll cycle left to right for terrain variants. To rotate, select terrain. They all have the option to, you can rotate them all, but some of them wouldn't work out properly, because my models are billboard models. They're not 3D. They don't rotate around a vertical axis. They rotate quad, and then the trees would be upside down, so you don't want to rotate 3D terrain. Unless you make your own and you put like a real 3D model in there. And of course the rotation logic will work for your 3D model as well as your 2D model. But those are things that you can figure out on your own if you're modding this game extensively, which will be moddable in that sense. So that's that, and then this will be finished tomorrow. This is my static overlays that'll, well, not static, like they'll be dynamic still, like country borders and stuff are in game use, but that's so I could have access to my overlays while I'm editing in other modes or in the game scene while I'm playing. These toggles will be renders of the layers, not modes of authoring layers. In other words, all these panels, because they're stacked on top of each other visually, are gated. So when one panel is active, you cannot have another panel active. So when I'm using my country overlays, in this panel, I'm altering them. I'm painting the country borders. So I can't have this active while I'm painting facilities because they're two different modes in my map editor. So I can't use both of these modes simultaneously. Therefore, what I need, and that's because they're gated, that's because I don't want these controls to be interacting invisibly. I don't want them to be invisibly active while I'm working with these controls, because if that were the case, all of these buttons would still be active while I was in this mode, and then I would be clicking regions and shit would be happening that wasn't intended to happen. So that's why everything's gated. So the solution to that is to alter them in the mode, the regions and the bounds. You alter them here, and then you have your overlay toggles that can be accessed from any mode, and this will go over to the game scene. Once the data is serialized, you can access those overlays from over here, and these will be active tomorrow. I just have to bake the graphics into this panel, and then define the click regions and my bounds, and apply that to my panel, this panel overlay in my editor. And then I'll be able to take that and translate it to a different layout for my game scene. It'll be essentially the same thing that this is, but it'll be a reader that is adapted to fit the graphics and the layout of my game scene instead. So it'll be the same thing, just with different positions on the screen. So once that's done, that'll kill two birds with one stone. That'll be nice. And then I'll have access. I can have my countries active while I'm painting my facilities, and then while you're in battle or whatever, with trading or leasing land, you'll see borders adapt in real time. So that'll be pretty cool. Got my historical populations set. These are from my 1936 World Atlas of the world. It looks like the larger populations are rounded. I don't think there was a perfect even number of people that lived in each or that inhabited, registered as citizens of these localities. But then at the smaller regions, you get the numbers that are more realistic looking, like 7312 for Eppensburg. Bergen is 4653. Landsberg and Frankfurt, they look pretty realistic. 77,000 even, that's rounded. But regardless, these are historical figures that come from a certified authority. So these are the population settings that I'm using for these locations for 1930s. I'm going to start my game in like 1930. Like I said before, I can start whenever I want, but I like the economic evolution to be deeply, or the economic upkeep and maintenance to be deeply ingrained in the gameplay logic. I don't want to start too close to the war, because once you're in the war, then you're in wartime economy, and that alters the way that economy is managed from several standpoints. So I want the both dynamics to be in the primary core scene that ships with the game. So that's the way I'm going to lay it out. I might do 1934 when Hitler took power, to set the entire mood for the World War II plot, game plot. So that's how that's going to evolve and progress. I've been working on my terrain. I'm currently working on getting these mountains established. They're a work in progress at the moment, but they're coming along good. And I'm getting the geometry defined and laid out as far as how I want them mapped amongst themselves, and see, this is what's nice about having these controls in the editor. You can fine tune and tweak all this crap right here. I don't have to bounce back and forth, dilly-dallying around with 0.1, 0.1, 0.25 opacity, like plus, and that's a little too bright. I got to restart my whole freaking game just to see if this next fix will work. You just do it right here. It's done. That's what I love about these controls. Alright, so that's my update. That's my game update. I'm right at the end of developing this editor, and it's really nice. It's a really nice editor. Everything works. All the controls are fluid and battle tested and improved. And I'm very happy with the way the editor has turned out. That's it. That's my video update. I will soon be getting into the meat of the game in that of constructing the scenario data container and transferring the serialized map data over to the game scene, and rendering all this crap in the game scene, and then I'll be working on economics and unit logic. Pretty cool. Love chatting.